What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another film room on the channel. Today, we're going to be breaking down Keanu Neal. Keanu Neal just reportedly signed a contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers, according to Gary Dulac on Twitter. So, wanted to get some film on him. I had like a little bit of free time, about an hour or so. So, ended up watching a game, cutting some clips for you guys. We'll go ahead and break some of that stuff down. Neal, back in 2 years ago, played for Dallas. He made the transition to linebacker this past season for Tampa. Ended up making the transition back to safety. So, Neal, a former first round pick back in 2016, I think he was the 17th overall pick. The big thing for him coming out of college, man, was just physicality. He was a tone setter in the secondary. You still see that on film. Really like this play right here, just working from depth, playing center field a little bit. He had to do that a little bit with Tampa because they had some injuries in the back end during the middle of the season. It looked like just the snap counts seemed like they were playing it more from depth, but really nice run fill here, just first down. But you see just him working down from depth. What I like here, this is, I think, Mark Ingram. But man, anytime you get a ball carrier, squared up like this, does a good job coming to balance, boom, drives him backwards. You always like having safeties that, aren't going to get drugged for excess yards and, stuff like that. So, he definitely has a physical presence to him for sure. Next play here. This is third and long. We are playing off man coverage. This tight end is just going to run a six to out route. This is an off-target throw from Dalton. He was a little bit rocky at the beginning of this game in coverage, I thought. But as the game went on, I thought he made a lot of plays, especially like towards the end of this video. You guys will see some really good plays from him. This play in particular, I think if we're going to play off coverage, especially at the sticks on third down, I don't know that we need these excess steps backwards right here. Kind of just a little bit, giving up a little bit too much ground. This guy's not going to run by you probably. A tight end, if he's stretching you vertically like that, I'd be a little bit more concerned. But I think we can play this a little tighter at the break point. But I do like something that's consistent with him. It seems like finishing at the catch point. Physical, knocks this dude down, throws him out of bounds. I like that finish by him for sure. Next play here. This one's a little bit tough. 30 yards out. I'm not really sure if we're playing like country cover 3 or if we're playing cover 3 match. I can't really get a reaction from any of these teammates on if we're playing, match here, if we're just playing spot drop cover 3. This route concept that they're running right here is just called peel. So you get a post and a wheel. This is something that I think almost every NFL team runs, especially near the red zone. You get this little post. They're playing cover 3 here. So you get this post or seam route to occupy this outside corner. You want to, those seams are the vulnerable spots in cover 3. So, this guy's playing trail coverage, number 35. He's got to squeeze this post or seam route. Neal's out here playing what looks like a spot drop here, curl to flat. But a lot of teams, at least in today's NFL, are playing more like cover 3 match to where they will match outside breaking routes, and then they'll carry these wheels up the seam. Neal doesn't carry this guy. I think he does get a little too fixated, I think, on the quarterback on this rep, regardless of what his responsibility is. But I'm not going to put that one completely on him just because, I'm not really sure the play call. I'd need to do a lot more film study on the Bucs scheme before I could say for sure if that was his fault or not. Next play here, just again, playing from depth. This is, not something that I think he'll be asked to do a ton of in Pittsburgh, depending on, if he's the starter. I don't know if he's going to be the starting strong safety because they brought KZ back. I kind of view Neal more as like a dime linebacker, maybe what they envisioned Carl Joseph being a year or two ago when they signed him. Just some sub-package roles. But you see there's a little bit, lack of range there. He's not at his best when he's playing this far away from the football. He does have a little bit of burst, click and close, but just range itself is not an overly strength for him. Um, but you know, fortunate enough, we get a drop there. This is kind of some of the stuff that he does best. Play him in the box. This is a reason why the Dallas moved him to linebacker. He's a good player, man. He can be an asset for you in the run game, whether it's as, the um extra defender in the box, or if like you just want to play him at linebacker. He'll do some things like this. They're just running a little zone read here. So he's charging the mesh point. He's responsible for the quarterback. I like here how, he's able to dip underneath this tackle, who kind of pushes him in the back, honestly, but still makes a really good play in the open field. This is third down, I believe, too. So this gets them off of the field. Um, really like that rep right there. Next one here, playing, I believe this is quarters coverage. I really like the footwork here and the trigger. This is something that I remember about his college film was that he didn't have a ton of range, like long speed range, but I thought he was bursty and he had, noticeable trigger, click and close ability. It's good to see that some of that's still intact after all the injuries that he's had over the course of his career. But he's just reading the number one receiver here. I guess it's number two receiver going vertical, trying to, run a little dig route towards the sticks on third down. I like the footwork here, you know, click, close, upfield shoulder. I think if that ball is thrown, he's got a really good shot to potentially break that up or at least, collision the ball. Again, really nice run feel from depth here. You like your safeties to be able to come down. If you want to play too high, come down late, fill off the edge. Does a good job just staying patient, being slow till he knows. I like the angle here too. The cornerback has the contain to force this back inside, but I do like the angle because you want to take this outside in because you want to force this ball back to your help. So really like the angle that he takes. Kind of grasping at ankles here a little bit, but overall he gets him on the ground. You see the Bucks. It's good coaching tape right here. We got four guys to the football. You always like to see that. I'm sure Todd Bowles was happy with that rep. Next one here. I noticed that they did ask him to man up on tight ends and a bunch of crucial spots in this game. This is another one. This is his third and goal. This is Taysom Hill, so quasi tight end, if you will. Really good rep though, right here. He's basically being isolated, 3-by-1 set on the backside. So you have to be aware of, in situations like this, especially in the low red zone, you got to be aware of, slants, fades, anything like that. This time they're going to get him on a little drag route. Just does a good job. This is sideline to sideline speed. What you want out of your like dime linebackers, your box safeties, they got to be able to run. Covers a lot of ground on this play and, ends up stopping him short of the end zone. So that gets them off the field again. You've seen him make a couple key plays on third down. This is another third down rep right here as well. Matched up on tight end again. Ends up being a completion to the other side. Chris Olave. If I am being nitpicky here, I would like to see him. He's just playing, kind of motoring out taking those 6-inch steps backwards. I would like to see him personally get some contact on this tight end, especially because anytime we get these 3-by-1 sets where you got either a nub tight end or a tight end that's in a reduced split inside the numbers, 9 times out of 10, they're being brought inside the numbers because they want to work an out-breaking route. So knowing that this is, third down as well, like every NFL team runs this, I feel like once or twice a game where they try to isolate their tight end. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to make sure that this tight end can create space or separation at the top of the route, the break point with their body. Neal's not in bad position here. I would say that he's in phase at least for the majority of the route. I just think I would rather him establish a contact key, to try to disrupt the timing a little bit, but ball doesn't come his way anyway. Um, but a solid rep. It's nice to see that they're asking him to do some of these things in Tampa. This is his best play of the game, in my opinion. I loved this rep. Actually got me out of my seat, not going to lie. This is a 4th and 17 play with the game basically winding down. So there was only a handful of seconds left. This is the last drive of the game. They are spinning down to cover 3. So he is the center fielder responsible for the deep third. again, one of the things that cover three struggles with, like we saw, seam routes, right? So the Saints are running four verticals. So you're going to get four verticals and two seam routes, meaning you're putting that middle field safety, that post safety in conflict. You're going to see him just make a incredible play on the ball right here. Um, really like flipping his hips, drive, boom, laying a big blow. I mean, that this throw from Andy Dalton is honestly a dime. It's probably the best throw that I've seen him make in a long time. This throw, I mean, that's a beauty. But look, he drops that in over the linebacker, but Neal just comes in, puts a shoulder pad on the football, ends up breaking it up. So really like the play. It's always nice when you come up with a clutch play right there to end the game. I think again, you see a little bit of short area burst here. I like that a lot. So, Keanu Neal, I don't know, if when the numbers are going to be final or anything like that. I'm assuming that this is probably a 1 year deal for relatively cheap, somewhere around the vet minimum, maybe a little bit more. I definitely don't think that this means he's going to end up being the starting safety or anything like that by any means, but I do think he can contribute on defense. He played a good amount for the Bucks last year, over 500 snaps. He's a really experienced player, high pedigree, former first round pick, dealt with some injuries. He's a guy that definitely intrigues me, especially if they're planning on using him, in sub packages as a dime backer, cover some tight ends, can play in the box, defend the run. One thing I've noted about the Steelers offseason signings in free agency, I noted this when I did the Landon Roberts breakdown, which you can find on the channel. It seems like they're getting back to physicality. It really feels like they're placing a lot of importance on physical ball players in the trenches, in the front seven, which Neal, as a box safety, quasi dime linebacker, could be considered in that too. But you think of like Neal and a Landon Roberts. You watch these guys play. They're tone setters on defense, and I think that those guys are always guys that you like to have as complementary pieces to the foundational pieces that they already have on defense. And Cam Hayward, T.J. Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, the superstars over there. So appreciate you guys sticking around for the video. Enjoyed doing this one. We'll see kind of what Neal's role ends up being, assuming this signing goes through. So just don't forget to like the video on your way out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more content. We're going to be hitting it hard up until draft weekend. So peace.